And welcome to another amazing and fabulous episode of the Honeybees.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And I am JC, and she is Marsha.
Marsha's here.
And I am
And
Donna.
Donna, you got a lot of explaining to do.
Yes.
When I turned on the video, my gosh, she was dancing because she's a bad mama jamma. And she's
As
as
fun as I can be.
yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I was like, look at you.
I had a blast. It was the at the C3 Seafood.
Yes, I
They
saw
had
that.
a 70s theme
Going on, yeah.
last Saturday night, and we
Mhm.
had so much fun. And that was just a few of us left. It was about to close.
I
The
love
music,
it.
that DJ was so good, and so the guy that was dancing with me was he danced all night.
I was like greatly intrigued.
Oh
There's
my God, it was
Prince
so much
Charming.
fun. It was so much fun. So,
And also Marsha too. When I got back from the karaoke club at like
Yeah, so you're
1 a.m. I got back home, and then I opened it, and Marsha is doing some kind of a beauty pageant swimwear.
oh wow.
It's actually just a pool party, which is a birthday party.
Okay.
Organize everything. It's just for fun.
I'll say they did a little contest at the same time.
Well,
entertaining those old
both of you ladies were doing your own thing. I was doing my own thing. I thought I was Sinatra last night.
I was gonna say you are always doing your own thing.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a great weekend though.
So the previous day, it was my friend's birthday. And then the day before that, the bartender at L'Amour, the karaoke club, he said, you better come here because nobody's here so you can sing to your heart's content. I said, great. I go in there, and there's a microphone that's bigger than me. So that's awesome. And like the head of the microphone was literally like bigger than my head.
Wow. Was it the old style, like a foot?
No.
Like
No, it was
an
like
actual mic?
it's an actual microphone. It's an actual microphone, but it's like ginormous.
Really big. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Honey, I Shrank
From
the Kids. Yeah.
yeah. No, I wasn't sure if it was. Remember the old? They were like a metal.
Oh yes,
I thought
yeah.
For the the aesthetics.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
They just had that.
That would be
Okay,
nice. Yeah,
right.
maybe we should, set up our own karaoke club. How about that?
I will be.
Karaoke dance club.
Yes.
Since Filipinos and people that like R&B, like me, I'm into soul and R&B.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sample for that, JC?
What? She's a bad mama jamma. Well, last night I was singing The Long and Winding Road, but I tell my friends I sing it sounding like Shirley Bassey.
Ooh.
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
The man with a Midas touch.
With you.
Remember that?
Oh, God.
Shirley Bassey, the moment you walk in the joint. Dum, dum,
Well,
hey, big spender! Yes, you gotta sing her like you have an attitude.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you can't do that without an attitude.
Yeah, definitely. You
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
be shy singing a Shirley
Yes.
Bassey song.
Yes.
And last night I sang A Long and Winding Road that had me. And I had to incorporate some R&B. And speaking about these happy mood swings,
Right?
we're going to segue to our topic. What is we're
Go on.
talking
Let's go
about
on.
like chemical balance,
The chemical
natural
balances and-
chemical
yeah.
balance or chemical imbalance. What makes us happy?
Right? What makes
And
us sad?
what makes us sad? What makes us angry? And
Depressed.
depressed?
Oh, there's so much.
What makes us suicidal?
It will affect into all
Yes.
everything.
Yeah,
in our
yeah, it's all, and Maria and I a few nights ago were talking about, the chemical imbalance between dopamine and the serotonin. So, we're not experts
No,
in this,
no.
and this is what I love about the shows like these is that it makes us do our due diligence of
Yeah.
researching
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
what it's all about. So I got schooled today.
Uh-oh. Well, you're gonna have to.
Wait, so I
Me.
did some research before coming here.
Oh, you did? Okay, tell us.
Right. Right.
Well,
Detailed.
Yeah, do tell.
well, it says that as it will affect into our brain, which
Mhm.
is cause us feeling sadness, helpless, which is what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
So what causes happiness?
Well, I need to look into my notes.
So here's my. Oh, why am I looking at that? My little cheat sheet. Oh, great! It disappeared. I just love it. How in the middle of the show, my help is gone. But where does my help come from now? I'm going.
Right.
I'm going through. Oh my gosh. What does dopamine do to a person? So it says that dopamine acts on areas of the brain to give you feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, what is dopamine versus serotonin? So serotonin is associated with happiness, focus, and calmness. Dopamine is associated with, like we said, it rewards and motivation. Dopamine and serotonin also share involvement in some mental health condition, including depression and mood disorders.
Yep.
So I'm guessing if it's like you're low on that,
Lower, right.
it's like you're running low on gas or something.
Yeah, too much thinking maybe.
Right. But you know
Mhm.
what's interesting too is you see people who like they exercise and they're always saying, "Oh, my endorphins are about to kick in." So that's
Mhm,
like
mhm.
you're at that point, you've been working out, but then all of a sudden endorphins kick in and you get this extra burst of energy, and now you can go further. I know that for a fact because even with me when I used to be on the treadmill, I used to do the
Yes.
treadmill and I would do like a 4 mile, try to keep a 4 mile walk in an hour.
Reason why
pace is
she's
high.
in phenomenal shape. Look at
No, I
that.
have not done it in a
God
while.
bless.
No.
God bless.
I need to get back on, but usually like I'm on, and after a while, and like maybe 2.5 miles in, I'm like, ooh, but then all of a sudden, something does kick in, and now I feel like I can
Yeah,
just go.
there it is.
Right? And of course,
There
music,
it
having
is.
a good
Yeah.
playlist of music that has that same.
Yes,
That
yes.
helps,
Mhm.
So because you feel like you're kind of more on a dancing step. So.
I remember in the 90s, during the, of course, people are, a lot of people are going to the gym and all that. But I remember that high-powered music in the 90s that you could hear
Yeah.
in the gym. And it was like one continuous sound, and there was no cut.
Yep.
And I remember when Madonna introduced her song Ray of Light. If you listen to that song, it doesn't have any break. It's just like one continuous, and I was not familiar with that kind of sound.
Right.
But of course, the more that I heard it, the more that
You're
it
right.
became normal. Because before that, the songs had breaks like a beginning and end, like it,
Right. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, because house music has
Yes.
that, like it's just constant.
constant, like continuous. It's like
Yes.
like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Mhm.
No matter what song is playing, it's
Yeah.
that same beat, like.
And then when they play it in the gym, it makes a lot of sense
Right,
because when
right.
you're,
Yeah.
exercising,
Right,
it just
right.
continues.
In your body
Yes.
to get
Mhm.
go through
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess music could also alter our mood, and that's what I noticed. Like in my case, we're still on the subject of dopamine and serotonin.
Right.
Like when I listen to sad songs, and this I do it on purpose, since I'm also an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I try to get into those mood swings that make me sad, but like consciously I know what I'm getting into, so I could like snap back.
Okay, so you're working on character.
I'm working on character. Like, to me, when I want to feel sad, I listen to a sad song and then I start crying. I know you're gonna laugh,
Right.
and then I start crying, and then I'm thinking to myself, so this is how it's done. But it's funny. One time, many years ago, also on social media shows, like, we were doing our comedy, and in one scene I wanted to do a sad scene, and I tried listening to a sad song. I don't know what happened. I was emotionally constipated.
Couldn't
It just, I couldn't,
there,
like,
right?
and I could see like Maria like waiting. When is this going to happen? When is he going to drop a tear? It never happened, so I had to fake cry it, and it became funny and natural. I mean, it was a comedy, so hey.
Yeah, yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are so many natural, like your own internal chemical imbalances
Mm-hmm.
that can throw things off. You can have certain sicknesses. Like we were talking earlier about women. I know my one of my girlfriend's moms, one of my aunts. They both had dementia.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
so obviously with dementia, sometimes you don't, when they're to the point where they don't even know, like you're going to tell them to eat something. I can remember on Easter, my aunt had the little, the little candy eggs with the foil.
Oh.
She was getting, it's like she had one and she was about to just eat it. So I'm like, no, we got to take the foil
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
so it's things like that. But there was a point where it was her and my girlfriend's mom, two different times, but their behavior was so erratic and things were just not right. Like it was, they had the disease, yes, but there were certain behaviors that they were doing that were not normal. And so at the time they were doing all these other, going in for test after test after test, and like, no, it's just probably just the dementia. But no, it ended up being they had UTIs, urinary tract
Oh,
infections.
yes.
Yeah.
And now, through the years, because even my mom had a brain tumor. She even had one at one moment, and it just puts all these other levels off in their body, and it causes them to do other things. And that's the underlying problem. So that's something that they look into almost immediately now with especially women with those types of sicknesses, because that does it magnifies a lot of the disease itself that's already there.
Yes.
It causes so many issues until they can get them on the right medication.
The right
Because they'll
medication.
stop putting them on other medications that are not, they're going to do more harm because it's not what they need.
Yes.
So, but it's amazing to me how that can really affect your mood, behaviors, like just your actions,
Yeah.
everything. And yeah, so.
In my own spiritual journey, before I call it the road to Damascus.
Ah,
And for those people who are not familiar with, the terminology, Damascus Road. I mean, I'm not trying to cram my beliefs down people's throat, but it's during the time that Saul before he became Paul was walking down the road to Damascus, and it's where he encountered Christ, not as a human being, but as God. And that was like a life-changing moment
the spirit.
for him. Yeah, the Spirit glorified. Can you just imagine? To me, I associate it with the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yep. Yes.
When Richard Dreyfuss encounters that big mothership.
Yes.
And rather than being frightened, he was in awe and
Right.
he intrigued,
Yes.
and he wanted to approach it
Right.
because it was something beautiful and out of this world. So that was the experience of Paul. And that is what I had like before my spiritual encounter. I was very depressed.
Yeah.
And I felt very suicidal. And then when I had that encounter, with the divine, I guess it also affected my chemicals,
Yeah.
the dopamine and serotonin.
Right. It lifted you out of
It
that dark
lifted
place,
me
for
up.
sure.
Yeah, and I no longer felt like killing myself
Right.
anymore.
Right.
And I didn't feel, oh my gosh, I felt like, forgive me for saying this. I don't know what happened to me, but I was like a bitch in heat. And yeah,
Back off.
I don't know what happened. But the Lord tempered me.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
He came
Right.
down, like,
Yeah.
calm down.
Right.
This is like, when Maria tries to tell her dogs to calm down, that's what happened. The calming down
Oh,
moment.
Right. Right.
Like, sit, boo boo, sit, or lay down.
Oh my God.
Yes, that is exactly
Yeah.
what happened to me. And after that, I was looking at myself in retrospect before that encounter. I'm like, I'm a totally different person than that person.
Yeah.
And I'm not even forcing it.
And if you look back now, don't you feel like, oh my God, like you see, because I've been there. I've been in that same, I've been in a situation where I was ready. I was ready. I was actually going to, it was a low point in my life. And I look back now and I say, God, that was such a dark place. Like I know, I remember it.
Yes.
But I'm so grateful because I was blessed in so many ways
That
since
is the
then.
word, blessed.
So I think of the fact that if I had gone through with it, I would have never experienced the things that I've experienced now, So yeah, and it was an overnight thing where both my parents had just passed within the last few years at that time, and I was just at a really low place. My kids were off, doing their own things. My parents had passed. I started feeling like I was an orphan, like I had no one to take care of anymore, and I was very much alone. And things kept falling, going bad for me. So I got into a very, very low place, but then it literally, something happened for me literally overnight. Like, I'm not kidding. When I say overnight, I'm not kidding. It happened overnight where I went from here to the top of the world.
That is a miracle.
I do feel that my parents had something to do with that.
Right.
It was like, no, it's not time for you yet. And that I feel they made that opportunity for me happen. And it changed my life forever. And I really look back and I'm so grateful that I didn't
Go
fall
off the
into
deep
that
end. Yeah.
And
Yeah. How about Marsha? Was there a time in your life that you felt like really low?
Yeah, but
I mean, you don't need to share like details, but
I
just a
have-
broad statement.
I've been experienced a lot of down in my life, but I never think about ending my life.
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I just embrace, if I'm really down, I just embrace listening sad music, listening sad or depressing cold, and then I just cry. I just bring
Let it all out.
everything,
Yeah.
and after that, I will be okay.
Yes. It's good to let it all out. Like sometimes I know people see me, I'm in this place, that place, this place, but sometimes I really treasure my alone time because that's sometimes when I can let it out and just grieve,
Yes,
just let those
exactly.
tears
See, and
out.
I have the problem of that because I suppress it so much, and even when going through my parents died a year apart from one another, both of cancers, but my dad was very fast. And that same year, my mom her behavior was off. So come to find out, she had a brain tumor, like the Ted Kennedy.
So
tumor.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it was a right frontal lobe, so that affects your mood, your reasoning. So she knew everything going on with her, but couldn't express it. She's trapped in her own head. So that was very difficult. So yeah, it puts you in a place where, when you lose all of that, it's really hard. And I was living with them at the time and I had to care for them. So when my dad passed, yes, I like cried a little, but not, I just would always gather myself. Like I became hard, so it's like, and that's not healthy at all.
Yes.
Because my mom got sick. Somebody had to be, everyone else is losing it. somebody has to keep it together to take care of everything. So I just had to focus too much.
Yeah,
You know, and
that's
I'm
really-
like, no, I gotta handle this, I gotta handle that. So I literally would just, it was hurting inside, but I just made sure everything was right, everybody was taken care of, things were settled, and it wasn't until 3 years later.
Yeah.
3 years later, when my daughter's at college, I happened to be sitting in my living room,
Mhm.
and it hit me. And that is the one time that I cried. Like, I realized what just happened. Like, because you lose a lot of track of time too.
Yes,
Because
yes,
in your
yeah.
mind,
Mhm.
you and this is still on that topic of like chemical imbalances, because there was something in me driving me, but I'm not even realizing
Mhm.
some of the things I did. And I was a realtor at the time, and I was achieving so many, getting so many awards, just achieving things in business, climbing a leadership ladder, and I don't even remember some of that, because I think that was my way of coping. And my morning was to just, like, the morning MOUR.
Yes.
Yeah. My way of handling that situation was to just, I worked, took care of them, and just like that was it. I didn't take that time to sit, to let it sink in, because then I would have probably broken and just not been able to handle
Yeah.
the things I needed to, because somebody has to be that stronger person that can handle all of these really,
Absolutely.
really difficult times. My brothers, one of my brothers even said it. He said, I'm glad you were there. He said, because he admitted I wouldn't be able to handle
Of
half
course,
that.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean-
yeah, for me, if on my downtime, I will just do it on my own. Nobody knows it,
Of
because
course.
if I go out, you don't even notice that I'm really.
You went through. You're going
Yes.
through stuff.
But on
yeah.
my alone time,
Mhm.
I will cry up to this level.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's
yes.
healthy, and I wish I could, but I've got, what I was starting to say is I've gotten to the point now I can't. Like, it just won't happen.
Yes,
It's very rare that, like, I could be watching something or thinking something, and you'll see a tear run down my face, but to actually sit and cry, I don't know when's
You
the
can't
last time I
force
did.
it.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
think
can't
that's
force it.
held it for so long that I
Yeah.
can't.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
on that, we are going to take a break, and
Yeah.
we will be back and return to talking on this topic.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Right back.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. If you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
Hi, welcome back to Honeybees, and I'm Marcia, and I'm still with JC and Donna.
The fabulous Donna, and they're both fabulous. Actually, we all are fabulous.
Yes.
And we're still on the topic, the chemical imbalance that causes erratic behavior.
Serotonin and dopamine.
Yeah.
And everything in between.
And everything in between, yeah.
Cover everything.
Yeah, so we were talking in between the commercial break about a person, and she shall remain nameless. I'm gonna call her Madam X. So Madam X, I heard it through the sweet grapevine that Madam X, when she insists on something, even if it's wrong, she just sticks to it. One time, I became so mad at CVS Pharmacy that I became like Mademoiselle X.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. So I don't know what happened to me. I'm like, you could ask Maria and anyone that knows me. I'm usually a very calm person and all that. But that one night, it's almost like there was a switch.
There's always that break. It's something that'll trigger something.
Yes,
I don't know what it
something
is, but everybody has a trigger.
like me yelling in the middle of CVS Pharmacy
Wow.
like an atomic bomb. And I got irritated because I was waiting in line, and this girl, I don't know, I think DoorDash or whatever, like Uber Eats.
Cut you off.
I thought she was just asking a question. And looking back now, I was in the wrong.
Wow.
And so forgive me, Lord. And I just say, you have to, I said something to the effect, yeah, I was here first. And then like, I know that. I was just asking him a question and blah, blah, blah. So I pay for my stuff. I turn around and we still continued fighting.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, like she wouldn't stop talking, that I yelled at her, shut up! And it's like, I said, and then the following day I was like, what the heck happened?
Was it her voice? Like
maybe it's
because
what,
to me, something from what you're saying,
Mhm.
it had to be something else that triggered because she.
her attitude. Yeah, it was
okay.
that attitude, like
Okay.
she wouldn't, we were both like not pushing back, I
But
was
you know
like
what?
pushing.
Even if they cut you off, even they're only asking question, at least ask the
Or
person.
say, "Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask
Yeah,
a question or something."
exactly.
So she didn't apologize.
She
was
didn't
ignorant
she
about
didn't, and then later on she's like, well, next time.
Oh,
Next
okay.
time.
See, you needed to
Yeah.
lead off with that. So
Yeah.
now I understand.
And she's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Oh
we're-
my God.
next time,
Yes.
don't like jump
Yes.
into
Wow.
conclusion. And when she said that, like, my thinking wasn't rational anymore. So I said, just shut up.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
how
want to
you-
talk to you. Just shut up.
Yeah.
You
And like-
trigger into that.
Maria's smiling because she's like, that's the JC that I like.
Yes. I think, yeah, I would be triggered. I definitely
Oh
would
my
be triggered.
gosh.
I try to be patient, but
Mhm.
yes, if somebody
try to
sets
be
it off, it's on.
patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, or ask someone right in front of you if you
Yeah.
need something on the front.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ignorance is real.
Yeah. But looking back now, I don't want to excuse my behavior because I knew that I was in the wrong. And right now
Or
we're
could have control.
I could have controlled
right.
myself
Yeah.
and just zip it
Sometimes
and just
it's,
like stay
grit
calm.
your teeth a little bit.
Yes,
like,
and just
okay,
like what
all
my
right.
former boss would say, you have to know how to choose and
your
pick
battles,
your
yes,
and your battles.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a story about
Mm-hmm.
that too. I was going to my work here at Rainbow before. I was
Mm-hmm.
living at my sister's place in Summerlin. and this car is going out in a parking, and the red light is on. I didn't see that guy, but when I moved like that, he moved forward.
Oh,
And then
no.
we didn't hit anything, but he was yelling at me, and I was swerving at me. I said,
Yeah, turning
But
red.
he was going through the light. The
no,
red light?
he's crossing and going on the other lane. He's coming from the parking lot.
Oh, I thought you said.
And I know he gave me a finger. I said, I just smiled. Okay.
Yeah. You know what though? Today, even with that, you just have to be careful because with the road rage and people, they'll shoot somebody for any little
That's
thing.
right.
Oh,
So
goodness.
now it's like if somebody does that, let it go. Don't even give that. If they want to give you for whatever, just turn your head, ignore it.
Yeah, don't
Because
don't
even
even.
giving them that smile could come off to them like, yeah, whatever, F you, whatever, and so then they turn around, now they're coming after you. So it's really not even, it's not worth entertaining in any way, shape, or form today because
Yeah, I
you
was
see
smiling.
so much happening.
I
You don't
just-
know what these people are going through and
I was afraid that this guy will come out and,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
do something.
Mhm.
yeah,
So he was obviously triggered.
right. Right.
And,
just a miserable, angry person, or he
Yeah.
could have just gotten off the phone with his wife in an argument. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
know
You
what's,
don't know what's
what's
already
going
going
on.
on with them
Mhm.
on the whole
Mhm.
day. That's why they have this.
Yeah. And that's like the mental imbalance. A
Mhm.
lot of mental imbalance. There's
Yeah,
mental
just
illness,
overwhelmed.
but obviously if you're not on medications, that's naturally chemical imbalance
Yes.
inside of you.
Yes,
And
yes.
mental, that brain imbalances they're no joke.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember this incident that happened in the Philippines. It happened in a very poor neighborhood over there, and I guess it had something to do with like fireworks and firecrackers. Somebody set off like some firecracker, and somebody was not amused,
Mm.
and the lady was like kind of making fun of the guy, like ha ha ha, I don't care, I don't care. And the guy, because he was
The one that was setting them off.
I don't know who set it off, if was it the guy, was it the girl, but I know that the lady was mocking the guy, like, because the guy was already threatening the lady.
Oh.
He said, I'm going to shoot you and your son.
Whoa.
And then she said, ha ha ha, I don't care, I don't care. Maybe she thought that he was just playing,
Yep.
Wow.
and he meant it. And then next thing you know, he grabbed a gun and shoots the mother
Oh
and
my
the son.
God.
And the
Oh
son.
my God.
That's why it's happening like that.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
back off now.
Yeah, like at times like that, like my advice to those people, try not to mock the other
Yeah,
person.
don't entertain them.
Don't make light out of it because it could lead to something else deadly.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 It's
And
just, I don't know. It's just too easy for people to just.
you maybe as a former cop, you've seen things like people dying out of nonsensical things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Tempers are flaring at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in that moment, there's a lot of anger. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, if somebody has a gun, they're going to take that gun out and use it, or a knife, but then they regret it later.
Yeah.
But at that moment, they're so angry that they do things, and
So
now they have to spend the rest of their life in jail, living with that and knowing the fact that you just killed somebody.
So now.
Over what?
Mm-hmm. For those of you guys who are watching and who are, experts in this dopamine and serotonin, like, you guys could, put your comment in the comment section.
Yeah.
So what is it?
I'd love to hear
Let us
other
know
people's
your
opinions.
ideas.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it for like a lack of dopamine and serotonin? Is that
Have you
why we get
experienced anything
Like-
personally?
anger, depression,
Yeah.
feeling suicidal, or
There
feeling like
is help
killing
out
the
there
other
for that.
person?
Please, there is help for that. Seek some help.
Yes.
Yeah, there are
Yes.
people that can help you with that. For sure.
This is good talk, like
Yes.
really, really
Yeah,
good talk.
Yeah.
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 Addressing that elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes
Yeah.
it could be a little mouse, but it's there.
Yes.
Elephants are afraid of mice.
Right.
Right.
And there's like such big creatures.
Huge, yep.
And then when they see a
That.
can you imagine like the big ears and then the trunk? And then they go up like that and then they'll stomp on you.
Right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that is too.
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
I'm trying to think. Have you ever had any other like examples of any imbalances other than secluding yourself in your house with your music and crying?
I'm still thinking about it.
Back home in the Philippines, I've seen a lot of stuff like crazy stuff, like people getting triggered, people getting super angry that they would just grab a stick or anything to hurt the other person. Like one time I was inside of the car waiting for my mom and my grandmother. Well, she's not exactly my grandmother. She's like a grand aunt.
Okay.
So I was waiting, and it was in this, highly questionable neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other woman grabs a broomstick and just hits the other woman on the head. And I'm like, obviously there was something brewing for a very
Right. I was gonna say,
long time.
where did it
Yeah, it
just
was-
come out of nowhere?
No. I could tell with the conversation as they were screaming at each other
God,
that it had to.
escalated.
But yeah, it escalated to
Yep,
that.
Yep.
And the other lady, started to bleed it was
Wow.
just this
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
mess.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a major chemical imbalance right there.
Yes.
Or maybe ended to killing someone because of some small thing.
Well, fortunately, nobody died that day. I mean, granted that the other person was bleeding. Yes, I didn't want to see that day.
Right?
And nobody died in front of
Right.
me.
Yes, yes. It's funny because,
Mm-hmm.
well, not funny, but one of my daughters suffers from, some imbalances.
Mhm.
She takes some medication for it. She's had counseling for a while there. But especially, and again, it all happened around the time that
Mhm.
my parents got sick. And because, that was her life as what they were her life. They were like her parents as well.
Mhm.
So, but she was very, how we were talking, the sister
Yeah, the two sisters.
being very headstrong. What
Yeah.
you believe is it's law. Nobody can tell you.
And that's it.
That from my dad.
Oh,
Oh, that is my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter. That is her all day. And
oh.
literally would get to a point where you're almost arguing. And I can remember my mom saying, "No, you know what? I've learned a long time ago. I just stop. If she's gonna go there, just stop." But I would always like, But through the years, she's finally, at least, as she's gotten older,
Toned down.
she admits, she listens now because you're trying to tell her, and then she'll come up. She'll come later and say, "Oh, you know what? You were right," or whatever. And I was like, "I know, I've lived." But oh my God, but that you want to
Yeah.
shake people like that. Like, oh my God, open your mind, listen. You only know what you
Yeah, I
know.
think
You
for
don't
me-
know what you don't know.
My
Oh
brain is gone.
God. But she suffers from a lot of depression. And so she does take some medication to be sure that she's level. Becoming a mom has done a great thing for her. You know what I mean?
Wow. Well,
big,
yeah.
big difference
Eye
for
opener.
her.
That, yeah.
But it was scary. She was to the point she was like, she would take knives and like
Oh,
cut straight.
God, yeah.
She has little scars on her legs from trying to cut herself, and it was a tough time to go through. But we went counseling, and thankfully, when she was in college, she would call and let me know. I'm having thoughts. I'm thinking of hurting myself. So she would always reach out. Thankfully, and we get I'd
Keeping
walk
herself
her off
accountable, yeah.
that cliff, and would get her the help she needed. And I was very close to and had contact with her school counselor, the president of the school. She and I were very close. So I would always make sure that I reach out to them and say, she's having that moment, and can you please, you're there. And they would. They'd reach out, get her, and she's 99% better today than she was back then. But she still has some moments. But yeah, I mean, it's close to home sometimes where you have to, you're there and you watch somebody's, and you wonder like, why is this? Why do you feel this way? What is it in your mind or in your head that causes that? That's an imbalance. There's something.
It is
there,
an imbalance, yeah. And that I remember when I had my spiritually, divine experience when I came from depression to joy. To a feeling of happiness. Like, I remember my cousin and I flew out of Manila to go to a beach resort. And instead of being happy that we were going to a beach resort, I got upset at him for not sitting beside me in the plane. Like, you sat so far. You're far away from me. And I remember going, because it wasn't like, it was one of those small planes where you get out of the plane, you go down the stairs, and
Lord.
you see the airplane. And I remember we were literally under the jet engine of the plane, and I was so upset with it. And then he was like, he looked at me and he was like, well, you're like exactly like the rest of the family, dysfunctional.
Also, you didn't want that flight sitting next to someone who's going to be
Quack, quack, quack. Aflac is beside me. Oh my God. It's funny because a few months after that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
What happened, Peter?
You should sit here. You sit here, like right beside me. And I should sit here.
And you started saying, see, that voice right there, that tone?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah. It's like I want to stay away from that voice.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I would, it's funny, we were like the odd couple, sleeping in the same room, even in separate beds. Like I would say something negative or unseemly, it was just, shut up, because I'm going to kill you right now. It was just... So I was off.
God.
I was chemically off. Like it was all going.
That's funny.
It was spilling. I was spilling all over the place. Overflowing.
Oh, God. Oh, my head.
Oh, my God. Okay, and I guess we're going for another commercial break, and we will be right back for more. That's right.
So
I have to preach that to myself.
I need to preach it. You eat healthy food, like I'm guilty as charged. I'm not eating.
vegetable, get some protein.
For some reason, the only the junk food in my fridge are screaming at me, but the vegetables are awfully quiet. They don't talk to me at all.
Just like they're waving like, hey,
No.
come on, take me.
Okay.
And that's all the time. Bye bye. Bye bye.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye bye.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
And welcome to the next exciting episode of
Arena Wars.
Fresh batch of institutionalized gladiators fighting for their freedom.
Ready, here we go. You guys heard Perez?
Yes, smell that.
Get back!
Those on the line, the parole board has offered you a ticket out. Win Arena Wars, win your freedom. 7 arenas with 7 of the most vicious killers the world has seen in the last decade. You make it out alive, you get to go home.
Luke Bender.
You're an innocent man.
Innocent man can mean big ratings.
I'll be watching.
I think it's time to audition Mr. Bender.
No!
What was your last physical?
Cell block shower this morning. Oh yeah.
You ready for this? Impressive showing out there tonight. You're the new fan favorite.
Are you with me? Cutie pie back for the kill.
If you want to live through this, we have to work together. I'm watching you.
Smile for the camera, thug life.
Wow!
It's showtime!
We have to finish this.
Come on! Hell yeah!
Doesn't sound much like rehabilitation, does it?
So I took us out a while ago, and now I'm going to bring you back in to another intriguing segment about the chemical imbalance. And we're talking about on the subject of the serotonin and dopamine, and how if you lack any of those, it could take you to the deep end.
Yes.
And
Yes.
aside from the cause of this imbalance,
Mm-hmm.
do we have a way to avoid it, or
Well, yeah, there's plenty of ways to avoid. Once the person recognizes they do have a problem, they're willing to accept help.
Yes.
Look for help. There are ways you can do therapy. There's medical, seek doctors, counseling. There's medications if it's necessary for the medications. But I mean, there's so much counseling opportunity out there. You can either be individual, do the groups. Sometimes they have group counselings where everyone can kind of sit and tell their stories.
Yes.
They literally can help one another. You know what I mean? Because this one could actually be talking about one situation where this one relates here, and they actually can almost work their own issue out just by talking to similar people with some of the similar conditions.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's issues that they're having. So you want to seek some help, or there's so much out there to resources.
Yeah.
Help, and I mean, literally, you can go out there and just, even if you wanted to search help for mental illnesses, or help for aggression, feelings of aggression, things are gonna come up. There's gonna be physicians, support groups, even community, free services. It's not necessarily where you got to go pay for anything. There's a lot of free services out there for people with mental health issues.
Yeah.
It's a serious problem today.
And also with that, how to try to avoid it is just we just have to keep ourselves accountable for actions. If you see that you're the type of person who gets angry or triggered very easily, like you have to catch yourself and you're thinking like, okay, I'm gonna go out there in the world, and there's gonna be a person that's going to irritate me, but you know, and we don't know who that person is. It could be this person, that person. It could be anyone, and you know, that keeping ourselves, you know, in check.
But it definitely starts with that person. They need to, because that's the problem. They need to recognize that they themselves have that problem. Like you said, the person saying, "Oh, I know if I go here, somebody's going to make me mad." So they're already acknowledging that. So they know they have a problem.
Yes.
And yes, that is a problem. Like,
there is a problem.
You know, if they're thinking that, no, I don't have a problem. That is a problem.
Some people skip in denial of what they have.
Correct.
That's why they don't want to seek help.
And the society is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many layers.
Yeah.
So if you guys have this feeling, seek for help. Talk to someone.
Yeah. Find somebody.
Find someone.
And sometimes, look, if your family and friends are part of the problem, meet a stranger. If somebody
That's the best way.
Just spark up conversation. If you find someone you see they have that friendly face, approach them. You know, just start having don't go approach them with your problem immediately, but just see if maybe that person, that friendly face, somebody's smiling at you. Maybe there's that connection for a reason. Like that person is meant to notice you.
Yes.
And you guys just say hello. Stop talking. You never know, because that could actually be a person that's there, that's been sent to you to actually help you.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So every day I see this. I work at a shoe store at the Palazzo. So people walk in, and I just try to make it a very pleasant experience for them. You know, because it's already like a super high-end place. And I don't want them to think that I'm taking myself way too seriously to be like that snooty. And sometimes
yes, I understand what you're saying.
And sometimes like I know that they're not gonna buy anything, and I know that it's going to be like a complete waste of my time, but I don't want to adapt that attitude. It's like, you know, that roll my eyes moment of like,
and the thing is, you never know.
Yes.
Like, look, Pretty Woman, come on.
Oh yeah.
You never know who you're talking to or who's walking in that store.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you'll never know. Yeah.
You shouldn't judge people on their appearance or their behavior. But yes, we are in Vegas. You're in that tourist strip.
Yeah.
So you're going to get people that just walk in because they're in awe and they just want to see.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay. Right.
Yeah. But sometimes they come in and they themselves admit it, like, I can't afford anything.
But it's beautiful.
In this store, it's beautiful.
Take a picture.
Or I don't know anything about this brand, but I've heard about it. Can you please explain? So I try to make it, I guess I'm also making this for myself. If I make it a pleasant experience for them, I also make it a pleasant experience
and you know
for
what?
myself.
You become a Las Vegas Strip attraction because now you're there to explain, help them learn.
Strip.
You know, and you don't know. And you don't know, maybe they have another friend who wants to, and they can.
Who knows? Yeah.
I went into the store, and
He's so
JC
friendly.
was fabulous. He explained these designers I'd never heard of, explained the styles, what would look good,
You
what
don't
would
know
work,
about
what
that.
won't, and you have to go there.
Then push that.
They come and look at, I'm looking for JC. JC.
They're gonna look for you now.
Right?
So I try. Well, thank you.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I try not to put myself in a bad mood and bless their hearts out there. Because in the high-end retail world, it's almost like the salespeople only like you if they know for sure that you're going to buy that $6,000 bag.
Mostly.
Yeah.
And like, don't even go there. You just be positive all the time.
That's right.
Just think about good thoughts and not roll your eyes and say, "Oh, it's a dud." Like it's a dud. And this is going to be a complete waste of my time.
Or they don't even acknowledge the person walking in the door.
Well, at some stores, if you keep on doing that, you'll get it. It'll be off with your head.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's horrible.
Yeah.
I have experienced that when I went back to the Philippines. That was 2015.
Oh, don't get me started with the Philippines. But
Really?
continue.
Because my fare didn't change. I just wear the regular clothes. I went to a cell phone store to buy a phone for someone in my family. I just wear a slipper. They will not gonna notice you. They wouldn't even say.
They didn't
hi.
notice you. Mm-hmm.
They will go to the person that has a nice bag, nice,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't know that I bought. But I didn't bought a cell phone because the way they treated me.
Right.
So you just left.
Yep.
Yeah, I just left and went to
I'll
another.
find another company.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
how it's.
A similar thing happened to
Yeah.
me too in the Philippines. And
Man, a lot happens in the Philippines.
yeah, I'm
It's
trying not to get
Wow.
off topic because we're still on the topic of dopamine and serotonin. But anyhow, this was the time, I guess, before Facebook, and I still was creating picture albums. So I went down to the marketplace, in my town, my little small town. We live up the hill. I went down and then went to the Kodak store. I went in there and I saw the same exact machine that we use here in America. During that time, there was that Kodak
Right.
machine
Yeah,
that you could just
yeah.
put your chip in there
Yes.
and
To print your pictures.
to print
Yeah.
your pictures. So I went there with my chip and I plugged it into that. It was like an ATM type of a machine. So the guy comes running in yelling at me, and I didn't realize, I completely forgot that nothing in the Philippines is self-service.
Oh, Lord.
Like everything is done
Someone-
for you.
Yeah.
So the guy, what are you doing? You might destroy this machine. And guess what? It's expensive. I was just wearing shorts and flip-flop. It's
Okay.
hot and humid.
Right.
I'm not going to wear a Balenciaga just to go to
Print
the
pictures,
Kodak. Yeah. I'm not going to the Met Gala. But anyhow. Yeah. And also, and he's like, it's 2 pesos, which is hardly anything in dollars. I think it's less than a penny.
What?
It's 2 pesos, and I just looked at him. Okay.
And?
And so, but I want to have my pictures developed. And then, okay, at first he was, and then when we plugged in the pictures and he saw all my pictures at the Wynn Hotel with my suits and tie and all, in the Philippines, they kind of worship America over there.
Right.
And then when he saw my pictures with my friends here in America, all of a sudden he started calling me sir.
The whole change,
It
transition.
was a switch. I'm like, and just because I was wearing t-shirt
Yeah.
and flip-flops and I looked like I just rolled out of bed,
Right.
and now you're calling me
Yeah.
sir.
Wow.
And he didn't even know how to use the machine. I knew how to use the machine more than he did, because he didn't realize that you could magnify make it
Yeah.
bigger and make it small, and he didn't even know that.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And so, yeah. So that was the experience.
Yeah, this is the story.
Yes.
Let's go.
But
back.
anyhow, maybe he
Well, I
had
think
some
tied in because those are all mental issues.
mental issues.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
personality issues. And, there's those mindsets that you come across.
And another Philippine incident too, Charis Pempenko, a very famous Filipina singer that got discovered by Celine Dion and Oprah.
Oh.
So she comes from a very humble background in the Philippines. And her father was in some neighborhood, I guess in one of the barrios over there. And then all of a sudden this guy grabs a knife and just stabs the dad like out of nowhere. And I think that he was still able to talk.
Oh my God.
Like, why did you stab me? Like, what did I do? And you could tell that the guy that was holding the knife had like mental issues. And naturally, later on, it was this whole press thing in the Philippines. Charis Pempenko, dad died and blah, blah, blah. You know what the criminal said in jail?
Oh no.
Had I known that it was Charis Pempenko's father, I wouldn't have. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't kill anybody. It doesn't matter.
Wow, did he black out? Like what? He never said what happened.
Mental issues. Yeah, he was clearly mental, and he was walking around loose.
Wow.
With a deadly weapon.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So you could see.
So instead of going to jail, they put him in mental facility.
No, they didn't. They didn't put him in the mental facility. He landed straight to jail.
Yeah.
You know, the Philippines is not like America, where over here they still analyze the mental state of. His ass landed in jail.
You know what?
Like,
I just feel like they all need to, you know, because a lot of them are going to claim insanity after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I love that. Yeah, I love what you
that
just
I
said.
don't like. I see that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're not getting off that easy.
No. Yeah, because we are still accountable
Absolutely.
for action.
Absolutely.
You can't say, you know, oh, the devil made me do it.
Please.
I'm most likely sorry.
You are the devil. You are the devil. Is your name Damien?
Omen.
Oh my God.
I remember that scene in the movie where the woman got possessed and she gets a knife and, oh, you're looking for your daggers? Here are your daggers. And then she stabs the guy. Here are your daggers. It's Lee Remick, so it was dramatic.
I know what you with that. We joke about that, but it's so serious. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we can make, you know, light of it because there's humor.
You kind of have
behind
to.
everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have to. There's always got to be that uplifting lining to it, where you can't go too deep into the darkness. You know, you acknowledge it, but you know, we have to come back to life. You want to live a positive life. On that positive note.
Yes.
If you want to help yourself, then you can survive with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's why my mantra is, like I always say, the joy of the Lord is my strength.
Mm-hmm.
And people take that for granted. They say, like, what is that? You're just being corny and happy. Like, no. Because bear in mind that a lot of people are walking angry, depressed, and hopeless, and just going haywire. And they don't have that joy within them.
They feel there's no way out.
Yeah. It's like they trap. If you have that, it literally becomes your strength.
It does.
It's like it inspires you to do good things, and probably even inspires you to follow your dreams, your goals, and ambitions, and you're motivated like every single day to keep on going. Just like you, and just like you. I mean, look at you in that beauty pageant last night. Something motivated her to look sexy in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And like you too, I mean, you're going on a competition, you know, in New York City.
Good luck.
So I love all that motivation. Actually, it's very inspiring towards me, because I'm thinking, I don't know if this is a midlife crisis. I'm gonna turn 57 in October, and I'm like, I'm old.
You don't Remember, JC, that's only numbers. Okay, that's only numbers.
And I've only just begun.
Yeah, I love it.
To live.
Yes.
And they say life.
Now she turned into Karen Carpenter.
And they say life begins at 40. So you're only 70 years old.
Well, thank you. There's a reason why I call her my favorite Marsha. Is it, remember the movie My Favorite Martian? I call her my favorite Marsha.
But yes, live your life, enjoy life.
Live your life.
Sure. Live it to the fullest.
Yes.
You're not gonna go
YOLO.
years again.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Have
the
fun.
bit.
Yes.
Yes. Surround
Yep.
yourself by good people.
And that's all the time that we have
Yes, this
for
was different.
fascinating episode.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
And again, if you have anything you want to add, feel
Yes.
free to comment.
Yeah. Feel free
Let
to
us
comment
know.
in the comment section and tell us. And until next time, until next week, you guys stay safe. Don't get triggered by anything.
stay cool.
Yeah.
Stay cool in that bed next
Exercise.
week because
Cool
it is going to be
beans.
hot this week. So be
Eat
careful,
healthy
please.
food.
Yes. Drink your water.
I'll
Drink
try.
Hydrated.
Yeah. It's,
I have to preach that to myself.
I need to preach it. You like eat healthy food, like I'm guilty as
Right,
charged. I'm
right.
not eating. healthy food.
vegetable. Get some protein.
For some reason, the only the junk food in my fridge are screaming at me, but the vegetables are awfully quiet. They don't have to get on.
Just like
So-
they're waving like, hey,
No.
come on, take me.
Okay.
And that's all the time. Bye bye. Bye
See you
bye.
next time.
See you next time.
Bye bye bye.